Look what I have here. The MK2 Modulator by Ultraspinners. Check this thing out. This is a big, heavy beast. And it is interesting. It came in this little carry case, but it had this big can with it from Ultraspinners, and inside you have just some parts. It has some little caps that you can use to modify it, and it has some of these things, which I'm not sure what those are or what they're for. But I got this one a couple of days ago. I'm going out of order now. I've still got some ones to review from the previous unpackaging, but I couldn't wait to open this one up, and I wanted to review it as quick as possible. I'm really interested to test this out because it's really heavy. And my initial impressions are that it plays pretty well. You know, it's pretty easy to use. It's a little hard to hold on to, but we'll check that out and see if that becomes a problem. So I'm going to get on with testing this big bad beast, and we'll see you in a bit. Okay, it's been quite a while since I tested this one. This is the Ultraspinners MK2 Modulator Delux. I was holding off trying to change the bearing in it, and I was not successful. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But basically, this is a pretty unique fidget spinner we have here. It has a big round ball for a center axis, very thick, and it has buttons that are very thick. And it has these little detachable arms. There's 4 of them. And you can put little caps on here and make it into a bi-spinner if you want. But I prefer it like this with 4. So how did it do? First off, you would expect that something of this weight, and it weighs quite a bit, would get pretty long spin times. But it didn't get very long spin times. It only got an average of 4 minutes and 24 seconds. And of course my instinct is to change the bearing and put a better bearing in it, but I tried like crazy, every trick I know, to get the bearing out of this thing, and I couldn't get it out. It was just not happening. And I even sent a message to the company asking them how to do it, and they didn't get back to me, so it is what it is at this point. It's going to have to stick with its score. I'm going to pause for just a second. Alright, so with a spinner like this, the characteristics of it are kind of important. This one, by the way, is the deluxe version, which has stainless steel balls. You can get a lighter version that has aluminum balls on it, and there's a couple other configurations you can get if you go on the Ultraspinners website. But how did it score for subjectively? On appearance, I gave it an 8 because it looks pretty cool. But on feel, I didn't give it a very high score, only a 6. A couple of reasons for that. One, the button is just a little indentation in the top of this central sphere. So it's pretty small, and it's polished, and it's really slippery. So the thing, it's actually kind of hard to hold on to. That's one major problem with it. Another thing is when you try to kick it out a little bit, your finger kind of slips off these big round balls, and you don't really get a satisfying stroke on it. Similar thing with a pull stroke. It doesn't feel all that solid when you do it. So it's not the most fun thing to play with. You've got to hold it really tight in your fingers to keep it from falling out of your hand. and it's just not all that comfortable. So the feel on this thing is really not that great. Perceived quality, I gave it a 7. One of the main problems I had with the quality of it is the button. Again, if you since the button, they tried to incorporate it into the overall curve of this central sphere, this button has a pretty sharp edge on it, because it's just supposed to be continuous, but if it comes out just a little bit, it can catch you, and it's a little bit sharp. I keep thinking I'm going to cut myself on it. I haven't cut myself on it, but I keep thinking I'm going to. So anyway, when it got the low spin score, this thing weighs 171 grams, by the way. I expected it to spin for a long time, and it only spun for 4 minutes and 24 seconds. Of course, I figured the bearing's not that great, so I'm going to put a different bearing in it. I couldn't get the bearing out. I tried every trick I could think of, and it's just not going anywhere, so it is what it is at this point. I've given up on trying to change the bearing, and it's just going to stay that way. I think it's glued in. So it gets a low spin time of 4 minutes and 24 seconds, and it got an overall score of 5.9. Subjective score 7, overall score 5.9, which qualifies it as average to almost good. So I was kind of disappointed in this one. It cost $125. It is a heavy spinner. I bought it because it was heavy, and it doesn't play very well, and it doesn't spin very long, so I'm kind of left a bit disappointed with it. I wouldn't really recommend paying that kind of money to get it. If you can pick one up cheap, it's a cute novelty item, but it didn't go too well, all in all. And that's about what I have to say about that one. We'll see you later.